everybody. Welcome to our first episode of I Brought You Into This World. I'm Amanda Hurley, and I have here with me
Simone Wagner.
And this is the first episode, so we're going to just chat a little bit about why we're here. So I originally started this podcast because as a new mom, I felt pretty lost. They kind of just throw you into things at the hospital. They don't really check with how you are as a human. I mean, there were a couple of people who did, but there's no follow-up to it.
Yeah.
And it's hard, especially if you have trauma or if you just have a bit of a weird experience. It's hard to find someone to relate to. It's hard to find places to go. So I just wanted to bring together moms to tell their story, create a sense of community, and I'm also going to have some support people on to, raise awareness about some resources that are out there that you might not know about. We have folks from Beyond Birthing coming to chat, and we have ladies from the Maternal Wealth podcast that also do the Story Slam, the Birth Story Slam. So there's gonna be some interesting people, and I can't wait for you all to see it. And so this is our first episode. We're gonna just chat about life and being a mom, and yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So first of all, I know we want to hear just a little bit about you. So what's your background? What was your life like growing up?
Life like growing up.
Yeah.
I have two older sisters. I grew up in Arizona, and I ended up back on the East Coast for college, and then ended up in Boston for grad school. And I married my current husband after we moved to Beverly. And my current husband, my husband.
Oh my gosh. Well, everyone has to have a first marriage.
My husband, and we decided to settle down in Beverly and make it our home, put down roots. And we had our son, Aiden. He's 14 months. As of yesterday, and I've made it through the first year, and I am on the other side, and now learning how to parent a toddler, which is another new thing to learn.
An adventure.
Yeah.
Just for reference, I have 2-year-old twins, so I've started that journey, and it just keeps getting more fun and crazy. Awesome. How long were you married before you had Aiden?
Oh gosh, we got married, I guess about we were married for a year before, we started trying. And,
oh, wow.
And so we're a year of marriage, and then we're going to go ahead and have a baby.
I don't know why I said wow, because I did the same thing, except that we dated for a really long time.
Yeah,
we were
together.
10 years.
Yeah, we were together for a long time. We met in early 2017. So yeah, it's I was actually living in New York at the time. Yeah, and we were long distance and.
Oh, romantic and difficult.
That's a story, for another time.
For another time. Awesome. Yeah. So, you dove into this motherhood thing head first. Did you think about it a lot beforehand? Were you going back and forth? Did you know what you were getting into?
Yeah, I think we always knew that we wanted to have kids. And I think in my mind, I wanted to be in a certain place in my life to be able to say, I am ready to bring a child into this world, and there were certain things that were on my checklist, and I know that it doesn't always go to plan for many people, and but it was let's get married, buy a house, and then have a kid. And when we checked those boxes, I think we felt like we were ready to do that. And it's different for everybody, but that was what it was for us.
That sounds like me. It's more that I'm I think however you do it is fine, but I'm very particular to the point that I didn't know whether I wanted to have kids because everything had to be perfect. I had to have enough means for it. Yeah. And just I was worried if I added stress to my life that things would get messed up or something. It's for me, it's the path of least resistance. Right. So it was really my husband that pushed it a little bit. And I'm so glad he did.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I would have just like put it off forever because you'll
when
never
do you know when
be
you're ready? And is anyone ever ready?
Ever ready? Well, when my niece was born, I went cuckoo. Like I just like fell in love with her and I was like, I wish I could take her home. I need to have my own. I can't be stealing my brother's daughter. You know,
that's fair.
So that's when I knew.
Oh, that's when you knew. Yeah, I feel like I didn't always have, and I think that it happened for me too with my niece when she was born. I felt like feeling these feelings of love for this like new human, and I wasn't ever really a baby person. I didn't like ogle at people's kids.
Yeah.
And I feel like when my niece was born, I started to like, actually have those feelings.
Maybe it's like just that close relation.
It's the close relationship. It's like it's family. I don't know.
Yeah,
there was something about that.
Your brother or your sister like fall in love with their kid. You know them and like you can see it for yourself.
Yeah.
So that is because I always loved kids and babies, which is, and I was a nanny, so it's kind of weird that I was like, maybe I don't want kids, to the point that my husband and I were like, can we be together? Like we had that conversation once or twice.
I was a teacher for a while and like worked with kids and loved kids. I think for me, didn't really know what to do with babies. Like until I had my son, I never changed a diaper. I didn't really have a lot of contact with babies in general.
You
with
taught
kids,
older
kids,
kids,
but not with babies.
What did you teach?
I taught technology classes.
Older kids.
Older. Well, no, they were young.
Oh, really?
I worked at an international school, and like I taught anywhere from like age 4 to 12.
Yeah.
And then I've taught adults too, but and now I'm in a totally different career. But it is like having that experience in babysitting in the past.
It helps. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
I had experience with babies beforehand, but I never wanted to like take them home and have to deal with them at night. I really like my sleep, and I really am only mentally stable 100% if I've gotten at least 8 hours of sleep. So it's a problem. But, my husband mostly lives up to it. He's told me that he would be the one to like get up early with them, to like kind of let me sleep in sometimes and deal with that.
Yeah. Balance is important.
Yes,
being able to
take,
certain things on at different times, or if one person is at 10%, the other person picks up the rest. It's important to have a good support system.
Absolutely. Sure. Now, so once you did have him, what was the reality like versus what you thought? Was there parts that were easier or harder?
I think having a baby, having not had any experience with babies in the past, was actually easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It's a bit relentless. It keeps going. You are kind of constantly changing diapers or feeding them or getting them to sleep. But it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. And I think partially because I had a baby that didn't need, I don't know, he was pretty, they say easy baby.
I had one easy baby. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Annabelle. They were both like pretty easy, but
He was like, somewhat easy in certain senses.
Good.
But then I think some of the challenging things for me were kind of dealing with everything outside of our immediate family. It was, or, dealing with your own identity crisis, or, other people that are kind of wanting time with your child.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
Even with my own parents, not with my husband, maybe because he like helped make the baby. I don't know, the babies, but like other people, this, whatever is going underneath, watching someone else hold my child, it was like, my blood was boiling.
Yeah. I think it's something that was inside your body for a long time, and it feels like a part of you, and then it's outside of you, and then you have to deal with actually being able to I don't know, it's not as protected as it was inside your body.
That's how I feel too. I didn't like, what really bothered me, and I didn't know how to explain it to people because it feels like I'm looking at them in a bad way, and that's not it at all, was other people changing their diapers.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's a part of me, and I feel like embarrassed or like
Like
for
it was
them,
like an organ that you
and
delivered.
you're like, it's almost like someone is like changing my diaper. I don't know. And I'm like,
Right.
if you're not my husband, like, and that sounds crazy.
It doesn't sound crazy. Yeah.
It's such a weird, it's
a
weird
experience
yeah,
to go through.
I didn't like that stuff.
No.
And you feel ashamed because you're like being so mean in your head and you're so angry, so that you push it down even more, and you're just like, yes, hold my baby as long as you want. And then you go into the other room and you just like start like
You're
punching
upset about
things. Yeah. And they're like, what is wrong with me?
Right. That early postpartum period is really hard because you're recovering.
Yeah.
You are dealing with becoming a new parent, and you are dealing with what it means to do that. And there's so much personal sacrifice, and also it's such a special time, and then you have other people coming in
and being in your way, they're helping, but they're there.
You want certain kind of help, but it's hard to also communicate that in the moment.
Yeah, I wanted everyone to help me, but also go away, which is really not fair.
My parents were really great. They actually didn't ask to hold him early on, and really waited for us to offer him. They helped cook and make us lunches and clean the kitchen and the house.
Nice.
And they were there to support us. And I think that's the best way to go about it, is when you feel like you're personally getting support rather than people coming in and trying to take your child from you.
Yeah, I told everyone straight from the get-go, like, holding my child is not helpful.
Yeah.
But there's two of them, so everyone thought like, oh, she's holding one, she's good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, but I want both of them, and also I can't just take the other one. I need someone to like help me hold them and get them situated. And so I would just give up and be like, okay, so one of my children, they're getting passed around, but they're both my newborns. Like it's not like, it's like, oh, they're not interchangeable. It's not like, oh, you can just have this one and I'll take the other one. So that was a weird thing.
You want
to
them both
explain.
equally.
Yeah, it was really weird.
That's
now,
tough.
let's get back to identity, because I'm really curious about that.
Yeah.
Did something like switch in you? Did something change?
I don't know. I think I'm still getting back to that.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is you have your work, or you have your hobbies, or you have the things that you do outside the home, and then all of a sudden you are home for so much more time than maybe you're used to, and it can be really isolating at times.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, I am a creative person. I have done photography and painting, and to try and find time for those things is really impossible.
Yeah.
And so if you're, tying your identity to the things that you do, then it can be really hard to go through that transition.
I know. And in a way, maybe it's a good thing, because I think that the things we do, even the things that light us up and are really important to us, are still not who we are.
Right.
Who we are is something that's like really simple, but it's really hard to put your finger on. And we try to find it out. We try to like get hobbies and jobs and tell ourselves like, okay, this is who I am. But then you lose your job, you're still you. And if you stop doing your hobbies, you're still you.
Yeah.
If you're depressed and you don't leave your house, you're still you.
Yeah.
So who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah.
Or who you were doesn't necessarily need to be who you are going forward.
That's what I was going to say. Like there's this whole idea of getting back to yourself. And
what does that mean?
Yeah.
You're a different person.
I don't even want to be that person.
Yeah.
I don't have the same interests. So how would I get back to her? And is she like, it's like, why would I want to go back to teenage me? I'm not that person.
Right.
It's like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a second adolescence in a way, where you are becoming like a woman or like a new woman, and you're just like, hello.
And the word for that being matrescence.
Which I just learned that word. And we're actually having a matrescence educator on the podcast.
That's great.
Which is really cool.
That's exciting.
So it's going to be nice to talk to her.
I mean, everything from the time you become pregnant until like your whole life, you are going through that. And there's so many different stages in matrescence, and hormonally, or through your identity, or otherwise. And also developing this human being and
Right.
the light that comes from that and the new love for this like these magical human beings that
I
you've
know.
created.
And it's like, it's great. It's like, oh, I'm the happiest I've ever been, but I'm also really lost. And it's like, what do I like? It's hard to explain to people because when you talk to people who don't have kids or they don't have kids yet, it sounds like you're being really negative and saying like, this is awful and don't do it. And it's the worst thing ever. And like, despite the fact that I'm telling you, I haven't been on a vacation, I haven't picked up any of my hobbies, I'm not sleeping very well. It actually is great. I know it doesn't make any sense, but it's a person that you fall in love with. And so that's something you can't understand until you experience it. And all the negative or the hard stuff is kind of like not that important.
Yeah.
Because you'll figure it out eventually.
You will. And those things can be true at the same time.
Yes.
You can be extremely happy and have like this happiness that you've never felt in your life. Yeah. And then you can also have these like really low lows and like experience depression like you've never experienced in your life. And figuring out where that comes from or how to support yourself in that time can be really challenging.
Oh yeah. It's very difficult. And sometimes you can't support yourself and you really do rely on someone else to pick you up and not everyone gets that.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you got support that you needed in some ways and were there some ways where you felt like you were really let down?
I think there are, I don't know if I felt let down. I think it was, I had such a good support system with my husband and extended family as well. My mother-in-law lives across the street, which for some people can seem like a little scary, but we have such a good relationship with her and she has, respected some of our boundaries and has been really supportive.
That's awesome.
And does part-time care for our son. And that's actually been amazing. Yeah. Not everyone has that privilege or that relationship. And, that can't always be there. But
it is amazing.
It can be really amazing. And I know that.
The same. Yeah, both sets of grandparents watch them twice a week. And then I hang out with them on Fridays while I work. And I can't complain about that. I'll still find things to complain about, but it's very lucky. And that's great. You have that relationship with her. Hopefully she's watching and got all of those compliments.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think there's other things that, and talking about the entire experience of going through matrescence and different times needing different types of support.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like, what does support look like for you might be different from someone else.
100%.
And for me, I think having a sense of community when feeling a little bit isolated at home during my maternity leave, for example, was really helpful. And finding friends that were going through it at the same time or finding different types of support groups locally, or just going to the library and going to story time. And there's lots of ways that you can get out of the house. Because I think if you do just are alone at home all day in that time, it can be really isolating in a bigger sense.
Absolutely. So just for reference, we live in Beverly, Massachusetts on the North Shore. So there are certain resources available. So how did you find these people? How did you find out about story time? Did you have a go-to spot or did you feel like you had to really look around for all of these resources?
I think I was lucky to have had friends here already that had kids before me. And so I was able to actually get some tips from local resources from some friends or get some hand-me-downs from friends. And that really helped because I could kind of get a sense from them, what am I about to go into, but also where else can I look outside of the home for support. Also from the pediatrician, there's a baby cafe, which is a lactation group. So that was where I met some people early on as well. And getting support with breastfeeding can be its own journey.
Oh, yes. We were going to talk about that too.
Yeah. Yes. So that was one thing that I found really helpful early on. It also was happened every week, and I could guarantee on Thursdays I can go and drop in this 2-hour period and get support from a lactation specialist, and also
awesome.
Get to hang out with some friends and get some advice from other moms, sometimes other first-time moms and other moms that this is their second or their third, and they had a lot of really great tips as well.
That's great. Where did you find this, and what's your pediatrician?
So we go to PAGS, which is the Pediatric Associates of Greater Salem, but is in Beverly on Tozer Road. And so
in Beverly, yes.
And so that is a really great pediatric office, and they had a lactation specialist on staff, and that was one of the first things, or like first visits, was having a consultation with her, and she
that's great.
let us know that there was a group that she organizes every week.
Oh, okay, awesome. What did you when you were breastfeeding? What were the challenges that you had? And are you still having them? Are you still breastfeeding?
I'm weaning now. I'm almost there.
Okay.
I've gone through quite a journey of breastfeeding early on. Didn't quite have enough supply.
Yeah.
Had to end up pumping a fair bit. Ended up pumping a lot of the year, which I made it through past a full year.
Oh, wow.
But we ended up doing kind of both, and he would either take a bottle or he would also breastfeed. And so we were able to kind of have a good balance, and that worked for us. And it's also finding what works for anyone. And
without guilt.
Yeah, without guilt, because breastfeeding is definitely not the only way. And, everyone's journey is different, or it might not work for everyone. And it's very much a personal choice. And I think I felt a lot of pressure early on of, I need to do this. And I think even the lactation specialist was even saying, you really don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to do it.
You don't have to do it.
Freeing.
And even hearing from her that, and that reassurance took a bit of the pressure off as well.
Yeah. I feel like, and I love Beverly Hospital for the most part. We did have like one lactation, like a nurse that specializes in lactation. I don't know what you call them, that, the ones that come in and they help you, that I felt was a little pushy. And so just for listeners, I was struggling with my mental health, like a lot, was having a mental health emergency. She didn't know that yet, but I was telling her that I really overwhelmed and burnt out from breastfeeding. And she just kind of was like pushing, like, this is important, you have to do it. And then there was medication that I was on later where they told me I couldn't breastfeed. So I find it really funny that, get a little bit pushed and bullied to breastfeed. And then later it's like, oh, now you don't have a choice. And
now you can't.
You can't. I'm like, oh, okay. So either way, I get bossed around.
You get a lot of different advice from different people. And I think there's the pressure to breastfeed from the hospital. And then you go like the next day to the pediatrician, and they're like, if you don't get the weight up
oh my gosh,
very quickly, then you're going to have to supplement. And not that conversation not being had in the hospital early on, and you're like, who do I believe? Who do I listen to? And kind of a lot of conflicting information can be really confusing to navigate on your own. Yeah. Especially you don't know what your body's going to do either.
Exactly. You kind of just have to find what works for you and what works for your child. And like, both can work, a combination can work, but to be given the choice, if you're able, and to have like empathy if you're not able, like give us a break,
Yeah, exactly.
And we're just really lucky that formula is an option, because imagine 100%. You live somewhere where you can't get formula, or vice versa, if you're not able to breastfeed for some reason. Like there's so many factors there. So what do you feel like now, looking back? Oh, this is a resource I wish I had, or
that for sure is like some more navigating around that, and then also having gone through weaning or going through it right now. There's not a lot of information out there about how to go about that, and I had hadn't been told that there could be such a huge hormonal shift when you do that, and hadn't really been prepared for that, and went through a weekend of extreme nausea and headaches, and like, it's another hormonal shift. You go through many throughout Matrescence, and that it wasn't something I had really anticipated. And a lot of people that I talked to was like, oh, I didn't go through that, or I haven't heard of that. And then other people saying, I've heard that from a lot of my friends. And it's just not something that's really talked about. Once you deliver the baby, the pressure to breastfeed, and then you're kind of on your own after that.
Absolutely.
And maybe you have that like 6-week checkup with your OB, and then not a lot of support after that. And so also some of the postpartum pieces around, how do I make my body feel good again? And if there were, and your body goes through so much, and how it's really commonplace within Europe to have PT. Everyone gets PT.
It's so helpful.
After they give birth, and you really have to seek it out here in a way that it's just not commonplace.
Well, if you have that, what is it called when you have the division?
Yeah, the division of your abs.
A diastasis recti, whatever it's called. Exactly. It can mess you up. Like, I was putting my back out, as it felt like I had no core, like my abs were gone or something.
Rebuilding your core, like how do you do that? And you can also do certain things that could actually mess you up in the long term. So if you're not doing it correctly, or if you're kind of doing it on your own, then you can cause more harm than good as well. And so navigating that without a specialist can be really challenging.
Yeah, there's so much, like, it affects your body so much. And then there's some more surface level stuff that still really affects you, like with your appearance, like weird stuff. You know, for me, it's kind of the obvious. I had twins, and I feel like my stomach still looks weird. Like, there's like extra skin. But also, the one I didn't expect is that my ribs are like further apart. So when I wear a shirt that's more fitted, I feel like my ribs are like sticking out, like up and out. And that's weird.
Your body's different.
What happened to my body? And then like how like little like age spots that appeared out of nowhere that I did not expect.
I mean, it
like,
ages you. I feel like I noticed my face just looks different than it did like before I was pregnant. And that's just something to get used to, is this is my body now. Yeah,
it just goes through a lot, and a lot of it will change. You'll kind of like because your body is like rebuilding itself. Yeah. But it's really easy to feel insecure.
And I've heard that it takes 2 years, if not probably more, for even your hormones to get back in order.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And so also what that does to your brain and your body and and emotionally, and how you feel like you can feel like this new version of yourself, or step into this new version of yourself and have that confidence again.
Yeah, it comes. And when they get to 2 years, it's easier, but it's also like, people say that, and then you feel disappointed if there's not a like total switch all of a sudden and it just clicks into place. That is not true. Like, for me anyway, it's just little things get easier. I start to feel like, oh, maybe I'll read a book again, or like,
right.
That's awful, but I didn't read a book for 2 years because when I go to relax, I just like fall asleep.
100%. I like just fall asleep every time I start reading.
Yeah.
And also, I think reading, like, you read a lot of books around pregnancy, parenting, and then how do you get back to like reading things for fun or reading fiction again? Because that felt like, oh, if I'm reading, I should be reading about what I should be doing with my child.
Like, we have to be selfless all the time and only thinking about them.
Right.
Do you feel like that is like, for me, it feels like it became my personality.
It's such a bad stereotype, but like, it is somewhat true. Yeah. And then you start talking to your friends that like don't have kids, and you just end up talking about your kids anyway. And so then it's hard to relate to people as well. It is.
And I can start to feel people being bored with me now, because at first, oh, she has a newborn, oh, she has whatever. And I'm still talking about them, and they're 2, and it's only thing I bring up like at work, and I'm always showing pictures, and I can see now that they're bored. I even like people make a joke. Oh, she just likes talking about kids, like,
yeah.
And I feel bad because I'm like, okay, first of all, like you don't understand, like this is like the biggest thing that I've ever accomplished. And it's like really important to me, but also, yeah, I feel like I don't have anything else going on. So there is a side to it where I feel a little insecure because I'm like, I don't want to just be boring you about this, but I'm not working on like anything cool right now.
Who's got time?
Who's got time? And everyone around me.
If you have a full-time job also, or even if you're home with your kids,
yes.
like so much of your time goes towards them.
But it's okay.
And that's okay too. Yeah.
Feel so bad now that I had those thoughts when talking to moms of like, oh, all they do is talk about their kids, and like it's so boring. Cause like it is boring for other people sometimes because they don't even know your kids.
Sure.
You're talking about a kid they've never met.
Or they don't have a relationship with.
Yeah.
I think it's also on the, like, in the same way, but opposite. Like,
yeah.
I feel like it's also allowed me to connect with strangers.
Yeah.
In a way that you have this common thing, like random people on the street will come up to you, and you have, it's also like your world is expanded as well because now you can relate to so much of this experience that many people go through in the world.
True. Yeah.
And so I think it can be isolating, but it can also be a way of connection as well.
I feel like my compassion and my empathy has grown a lot. That it's not, all of our experiences are different, and there are traumas that I can't relate to at all, but I can I can understand that where that pain might come from, and I can sit with it in a more comfortable way, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I used to feel uncomfortable by other people's pain and trauma in the way that I would like kind of just like shut down and not be able to be receptive and be there for them. And that is changing. And I think that's something that's really powerful and important, like as a human being, to be able to
definitely
empathize with something that you don't understand.
Sure. Yeah. Building that in yourself, that makes a lot of sense.
And sometimes it takes trauma to get there, but that's
going
really
through your own trauma, because birth trauma is real.
Yes, absolutely. It's real. And and it does make you respect mothers in a way that you never did, and kind of like be in awe of your own mom. And I just see her so differently because I just know how much work she put in. And also it's not twins, but I was a 10-pound, 11-ounce baby.
Wow.
So I think she can relate to me a little bit. I still win, but
yeah, you win.
Yeah, but
but she went through, also giving birth to multiple kids. My mom having 3 as well.
A lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
I am grateful that I had 2 at once because I don't know that I could handle more than 2, and I definitely don't know that I could handle another pregnancy. So in a lot of ways, it was hard. It was really hard on my body, but like I don't have to find out again what it might be like. So that's a plus.
That is a plus,
I would say, for sure.
No, I think for me, we would like to have another, and for me, my pregnancy was really hard. I think I have more trauma from my pregnancy because I was so nauseous for like up to 25 weeks through my pregnancy, and I was bedridden for a lot of it.
Yes.
But doing that again and thinking about going back to that feels challenging.
Oh, yes. And people are very like, oh, you had nausea, blase. But nausea 24/7, you're just vomiting and crying and like begging God for mercy.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that's like, then just shut up, because like we're laughing, but it's real. Absolutely horrible. Like I've had I don't know. I've had like much more serious stuff happen to me physically, and like nausea is worse. Right. It's just so uncomfortable. Nausea, so and then when you go to get an IV and they keep missing the vein over and over, and it's like worse than like the surgery itself. Like there's so many things that seem little that are actually really traumatic. Yeah. That you wouldn't even think. Right. And nausea is extremely traumatic. Yep. So given your whole... Oh my God. I'm just thinking about this time where I ate too many pickles. I think you can see where that's going. pickles were making me feel better for some reason for a while. Like I was like, oh, I'll just eat pickles all the time. But throwing up pickles.
Yeah, that's the worst.
It's a very unpleasant experience.
I survived on watermelon.
Watermelon's good because it doesn't really.
If you're pregnant in the winter, the watermelon is the worst. And how disappointing it is to get like a shriveled up watermelon from the store.
It's not in season.
That's all you really want to eat.
And then pregnancy and having a baby in the winter is like, we could have a whole other podcast episode about that.
100%.
Because that sounds bad. I had, my babies were born in June. So, and you similarly, like having the baby in summer is great.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But like being pregnant, like really like the hottest part of summer, or being pregnant and having a baby like in the winter, any of that.
It's all hard.
It's all hard. It's just, I guess what I'm trying to say is every single season sucks. Maybe except fall. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But you're pregnant for so long, so you're going to experience multiple seasons.
Yes. You're pregnant for so long that I still sometimes am surprised that the belly's not there. Like I roll over and I'm like, what is missing? Something is wrong.
I still feel like guilt. Or like weird, like I shouldn't be doing it when I sleep on my back or on my stomach.
I do too sometimes.
I feel like I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing. And I'm like, no, I'm not pregnant. I can sleep on my back. It's okay.
Although I don't understand sleeping on your stomach because I don't know how to do it without suffocating myself. So I'll have to like talk about that later because I cannot figure it out.
We'll talk about that later.
But yes, so with all of that, what advice would you give to a new mom?
Right. I think something we haven't really talked about, but is quite important to talk about is all the stuff you need and all the things you need to learn before you're about to have a baby and you're like making a nursery or you're making a registry with all the things that you need and you have nowhere to start.
Yeah.
Or don't know where to start. And I think for me, I would say start with less. Add things as you need them because as soon as you give them all the comforts, then you're stuck with all the comforts. And you'd be surprised how adaptable they can be without it. So you need less than you think.
They won't use half that stuff.
No, and you don't need everything new.
No.
And utilizing Facebook Marketplace or Buy Nothing groups for a crib or otherwise. You said that you have cribs that you're trying to get rid of.
Yes, if anyone wants 2 cribs.
Yep.
If you have twins or if you have 2, I don't know. If you have one kid and someone else has a kid, I don't know either.
Right.
But it's always stuff to get rid of.
Yeah. So using your community, either their community groups on Facebook or you reach out to friends, see if they're getting rid of anything.
Absolutely.
You don't need everything brand new. And I volunteer for Green Beverly. Yeah. Coming from a place of thinking about sustainability when you're all of a sudden needing to acquire so much stuff.
Better for the environment too.
I was very specific about what do I need that I need to bring into my home and how can I do that in a sustainable way.
Yeah, I got so much free stuff and cheap stuff, and I think growing up with a mom who's like very like good at thrift shopping and finding stuff, I feel like I'm a little bit like patting myself on the back about how I made out. Yeah. And like I found like a $800 stroller for free.
Amazing.
Brakes don't work, but I'm strong for going down a hill, you know, just like you just hold on.
Yeah, hold on tight.
Put the arm strap on. But it's, you know, and if you want cute clothes for your kids, if you have any family or friends, they'll buy them for you. If there's something you really want, put it on a registry or buy it yourself. But don't buy all new clothes for your kid.
No, you unless do not need them.
You have that kind of income.
They're going to ruin them instantly.
They're going to ruin them. And then you'll be like, oh, I paid so much money for it. And like, well, don't do that, you know?
Don't do it.
Don't do that. Sorry, but it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
No. I don't know what else. I feel like we said a half hour, but I knew we were gonna go more to an hour because there's too much to talk about.
There's too much to talk about, but we can continue the conversation. Yeah,
definitely. And if you want to bring some mom friends and just do a hang, we can do that too.
Sounds great.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for watching. I brought you into this world. I guess this episode we'll call it "I Brought You Into This World." And it was a challenge. It was a challenge.
Thank
you very much. Thanks for being with us,
Thanks
Simone.
for having me, yeah.
Good night. It is not nighttime, so I don't know why I said that, but it's dark.
It's dark in here.
We should pretend it's